what happens when you build a business through relationships is you get referrals.
Yeah.
So referrals are fantastic, but you can't just rely and say, hey, it's all going to be word of mouth. Everything has to be through the mouth of someone I've helped to someone else. An online review done the right way and showcased in the right way and managed the right way will help you get referrals without people having to tell other people how great you are. Welcome to the podcast dedicated to real estate, insurance, and everything in between. Join us as we take you along our own brokerage building journeys with additional wisdom from our network of business experts. Welcome to Bricks and Risk. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Bricks and Risk. I'm Tim Garrity.
And I'm Sean Mooney. And today, Tim, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk
about... like scrap?
You would stand no chance.
I think I know who the winner would be if that's what we're doing here.
I think the public knows who the winner would be.
That's right. They do know it's me. So keep going.
Today we're talking about reviews.
Okay.
We're going to talk about reviews and specifically how to get them and why they're important for businesses.
Awesome. Oh, such a great topic. And we're huge proponents of this, by the way. So again, we like to talk about things that we feel positive about. So here are a couple statistics about online reviews. So 95% of customers read online reviews before buying a product or service. So that's pretty staggering. Also, 49% of customers trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation. And I think you would agree with me here. I hope you would. But
maybe.
But hey, when we built our businesses, again, we've built our businesses through relationships.
Yep.
And what happens when you build a business through relationships is you get referrals.
Yeah.
So referrals are fantastic. But you can't just rely and say, hey, it's all going to be word of mouth. Everything has to be through the mouth of someone I've helped to someone else. An online review done the right way and showcased in the right way and managed the right way will help you get referrals without people having to tell other people how great you are. Here's a great example. I've helped you with real estate before.
Yep.
And you've given me an online review.
Yep.
And let's say someone that you know that maybe I don't know is just looking online and they're checking things out and they come across Copper Hill and they find our profile and they're reading about how we started, the size of our team, where we specialize, who we've helped. And they search for us on Google, and right to the right, you will see your online Google reviews, which in my opinion are probably some of the most valuable online reviews you can have today. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think it's very important to have that profile and have an awareness and reviews posted on Google. Yep.
Agreed. Yeah. So then your friend finds us online, looks at our reviews, makes the connection between you and I for whatever reason, and then they can make the decision for themselves. So when you're looking at online reviews, not only are you looking for that SEO to boost your business, having a Google business profile is going to boost your business. Having online reviews through Google is going to boost your business because, again, where do most people search for business, for information? They go to Google.
Yeah.
Most people go there. So having those there is huge. And, basically 49% of customers trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation. They might look at that, have never spoken to you about your experience, but they're just going to reach out and say, hey, I need help. So what have you experienced on your end with online reviews?
So they are a tremendous vehicle for us to gather new clients.
Yep.
We put a focus on trying to extract as many reviews as we possibly can.
Yep.
They tell a story, right? And I think that you're trying to tell people out there that are searching, that are looking for a new insurance provider, what you can provide to them, these people that are looking.
Yeah, agreed.
So we absolutely put a focus on, number one, providing a client experience that is high level so that when we go to ask them to leave a review, they're more than willing to do that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And that's, dude, that's like, it really brings up the next point. So you mentioned that. So how do you get online reviews? Do you have, at Mooney Insurance Brokers, do you have a way or ways that you consistently, whether it's through technology, whether it's the phone, whether it's just, in person, like how do you get online reviews?
So number one,
besides having a droid, we do understand that helps.
They get preferential treatment.
But I figured that was just understood. You have a droid, you're just going to get more online reviews. But what are the other ways?
So number one, if client A comes to our office and we start a new policy for them,
okay,
and they have a Gmail email account, they get like an asterisk next to their name so that we're aware that we treat them differently.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, so there's a reason baked into the idea of having that.
Because you think they have a droid as well?
We only write insurance for people. That's one of the pre-qualifying.
If you
steps.
don't, you are not welcome. If you're on Tim's side of the fence with an iPhone, please go somewhere else.
Go to State Farm, right there.
Right down the street.
They love. So we treat them. The way that they come into our CRM is different than if it's a Verizon or AOL or whatever type of email account.
Yep.
So that's number one, is they're kind of treated differently up front. Number two is we actually, in our application process, this is a great little tip that I think some people will enjoy.
Right.
Our DocuSign. So we execute a policy. We have an application. We need signatures on that application.
Same here. Yep.
We have a redirect on our completion process in that baked into that DocuSign, so that as soon as they're done signing, they're immediately taken over to our review page.
No way. What tech do you use for that?
I'll put it in the links.
Dude, that's sick. Yeah, throw it in the shout outs.
So literally what we do is when we prep them, say, hey, we're sending over this application. I need you to sign all of the spots where you need to sign and date.
Yep.
And by the way, after you're done completing that application,
you're setting their expectation. Instead of surprising them, you're letting them know this is what we do.
You're going to be taken to a review site. And I know that they're Google and Gmail linked.
Wow.
So that I said you're going to be taken over into a review site. If you can leave a review, nothing formal, you can just leave a review. It would mean a lot to us.
Dude, that's awesome.
So
never shared this with me before. I'm glad we're doing this episode.
I can't give you all the nuggets,
That's
and then
true.
I wouldn't have anything for the podcast.
We've talked about it before. Mooney's the better man. He reads more books. He has better redirects. He obviously has a better phone. So it's like, just think of all these different ways.
I mean, it's kind of infinite if you think about it.
I can't believe I only had three. That's
we really rely heavily on the reviews because we think that people are looking, especially our industry, insurance, like insurance people looking, especially now, looking for new insurance.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to deal with a broker. I'm not happy with, who I'm dealing with. We're looking for someone new. So number one, we put a heavy emphasis on it. We tell people that they're coming to finish it out, to review if they could do it. And then it's them leaving a story of like what their experience. So we've already given them, hopefully, a very good experience going through the process. And so then it just tells a story to all the people that are looking, hey, this has been a great experience. And then hopefully we bring in the business based on that.
Do you like solely focus on Google reviews? Do you have other spots that you try? Do you like rotate, or you're
Facebook? Facebook and Google. If they don't have a Gmail, it's not going to work, because in order to leave a Google review, you need a Gmail email, or at least be in their system.
Or have a Google account.
So anyone else, we're going to send out. We have a different process for someone that doesn't have that Gmail email account.
Wow, you are really dialed into that.
Yeah.
How many? All right. So if you had to guess off the top of your head, how many Google reviews do you think your company has today?
I don't know, 100.
Okay. And how about Facebook? Equally as good?
No,
or
we
less?
don't get nearly as much traction on the Facebook end.
But again, it's good. Like, here's a great example. Like, when you're searching for a new business or something, doesn't even matter what it is, you're going to Google them.
Yep.
And when you Google them, one, you would love to see a Google business profile on the right, because it's a very easy thing to reference. And you can also very easily see it's like their hours, their reviews, some snippets, some images. Like, there's lots of really helpful information in that Google business profile. But what's also interesting is most of us do is we scroll down the page a little bit and we start looking at other websites. Okay. Copper Hill, for example. Big website for us, and credibility not only for online reviews, but for like listings, and the size of our team is Zillow. So Zillow is the largest consumer-facing real estate site out there today. Second is Homes.com, which has kind of come up out of the blue.
Yeah.
It used to be Realtor.com, and now they're beating them. So with Zillow, you can have a profile about yourself as a real estate agent, as most people in this business know. If you don't, I'm telling you right now. If you have a team or you have a brokerage, you can have everyone connected to you. You can have all those sales showing, but it also allows you to have online reviews. So when someone goes and searches Copper Hill Real Estate on Google, again, same as you, I don't know, maybe 70 or so reviews we have over in our Google business profile. That's what we focus. But we also have, 20 some on Facebook, 50 some on, or 100 some on Zillow. And I think that's credible. I think what you're doing is very much dialed into where you want them to go based on their email address. I think that's super smart. Ours is more a product of, like, we used to ask just that they go to multiple sites and kind of like just give the same review, which wasn't a good strategy. And most of our other ones, like Facebook and Zillow, are actually some of our older reviews.
Yeah.
And a lot of the newer ones, pretty much all of them, we focus on Google.
Do you know, like, where you should be having these, like, where you're getting, because we don't, we just, there's an assumption with me that if people are looking or shopping insurance, that it's going to primarily be on Google. But do you have any, like, ideas to, like, how much of a return a Zillow or versus a Google might be?
I don't have those particular numbers. What I will say is that Zillow's not really the consumer spot to search for brokerages or even really agents. Like, you can learn about people there, but that's what, people are just going to put Tim Garrity Realtor, Copper Hill Real Estate. They're just going to put things out there to really learn more about us. So Google for us is, I would definitely say.
Yeah, and I don't even mean it with, like, specifics, but, like, we track every piece of business that comes into our agency.
Yep.
And a lot of it is heavy Google.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know the exact number, but I would say, if I were to guess, I would say that.
You mean the business that, like, comes you
new prospect
without, like, referral?
Yeah.
Gotcha. What do you ask? Like, how do you track that? How do you ask?
So in our CRM, it's just like, where did this piece of business come from? So referral and then name.
So you always ask them up front, how did you find us?
Yep. It's like one of the first intake questions. Oh. Yep. And because, if it's Google, then maybe we'll want to spend more on Google ads and get that spend up, based on, different things, or referrals, oh, Jim gave us 5 referrals last month. Like, so we run that kind of report. It's just good to know where it's coming from.
Yep.
But I will give you this too. I was looking at this. We believe so heavily on it.
We're looking at your Acer right now?
Acer. This is
about the size of a flat screen TV. I'm checking it out.
It might be bigger than.
It's probably bigger than that. We could watch the Super Bowl on this thing.
But what my email signature. So we track the emails too that are going out.
Yep.
And so we can kind of see where people are,
Where they're clicking.
It's like a hot spot.
Yeah, like heat map.
Yep.
Gotcha.
So I actually have in my email our Google
Your link.
business page.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
So if you,
So if I'm feeling so inclined.
yep. So I know that people, it's kind of like for me, like a billboard.
That's sweet. Yeah.
It's like, a digital,
Yeah.
so that
It's a good thing for your email signature.
when you click on it, it's going to, take you in
112. That's impressive, man.
There you
112
go.
reviews.
112.
Look at that. That's
Yep.
awesome. Hey, everyone. This is Tim, your favorite Bricks and Risk co-host. But don't tell Sean. I hope you're enjoying this episode, and I'll get right back to it in a moment. Our audience grows through word of mouth. So if you would please take a moment of your time and give us a review on the platform you're on, that would be fantastic. Please also help spread the B&R word by sharing your favorite episode with a friend. We greatly appreciate your time and trust. Now, back to the show. All right, so it's interesting that so you track things a little bit differently because everything kind of comes in the same way. Like we have a team of over 30 agents.
Yeah.
Agents are running around, their clients will give reviews for Copper Hill as well as them. It's harder to track.
Yeah.
For myself, it's easier.
Yeah.
How we have done it too is that I start with a lot of that in the beginning of the process. I'm doing a lot of it verbally.
Yeah.
So when I'm meeting with people, I'm telling them a little bit about the brokerage. I'm telling them about myself, kind of like how I've gotten to where I've gotten, where most of my business comes from. A lot of it's word of mouth. And we're talking about how important referrals are to Copper Hill Real Estate and to, my book of business as an agent, let's say, throughout the entire process. And then we get to closing. One of the last things I do, closing goes well, give them a closing gift. I say, hey, you're going to get an email from our system that's going to ask for an online review on Google. I would love it if you could take a couple minutes out of your day to leave us a review that reflects your experience.
Yeah.
But what happens is it comes through our CRM system, which is HubSpot. And when it hits them a certain amount of times, and there's a formula to that. We can deep dive into that another day, but I learned this through someone, like how frequent it is sent to them. Sometimes I get the online review within like a day or two of closing. Sometimes I don't get it for 6 months because it's going to them at different intervals over months to just, here's a reminder, if you're okay with it, please give us an online review. It's almost like it's following them to a point to be like, if you haven't done it yet, the emails will keep coming.
Yeah.
But it's
You better fill this out.
I'm like, yo, listen,
or else.
okay? We're gonna have a serious issue.
Or else we're going to drip you for 6 months.
Right.
So just do it now. Just get it over with. Just leave the GD review.
Dude, you want to hear something interesting?
Tell me.
So we only started doing that maybe like a year and a half ago. And one thing we did is we actually took all of our previous clients who didn't do an online review, and we put them into the same formula that literally we got like 20 reviews in like a month.
Yeah.
So much so that Google kind of like shut us down and they're
Yeah.
like, you're rigging the system,
Yeah.
whatever you're doing, this doesn't seem real. So we had to like fight through that. So we got a ton from the people who are like, oh my gosh, I never really got a couple reminders. So yeah, I'd love to say what my experience was like with Copper Hill or with Tim or with one of Tim's agents. And then moving forward, it's pretty consistent. Maybe like 1 out of 3, 5, 7, I don't know what the exact number is, we'll really go on there and leave a review. So we're in like this cadence now where the formula that we're using through email only, after it is closed, after we verbalize it, is really working out for our business.
I would recommend, if I'm you, I am going to do that in a text.
Okay.
Get the link, work it into your CRM. I don't know. Can you text out?
Yeah, we can.
I bet your numbers go up dramatically.
Yeah. No, you're right, because it's so much easier.
It's so
from
much
your phone.
easier.
You know if people do it through text through you?
I don't allow it, mostly only because my system, the way I do my DocuSign, it's almost
that's
like
the system.
it's
That's a really good idea. I'm going to look into that.
because with us, my return rate on it is, and we actually did it. I showed you. I rigged out, so I did it differently. So I was using that Monco Happening.
Oh yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
like best insurance company in Montgomery County,
Yeah,
Pennsylvania.
So in the world, I think it was the best insurance agent.
This we're going for the top insurance brokerage in the entire universe. So please vote for Mooney Insurance Brokers.
So I swapped it out because I was like, oh, during this period, like we can do it. And then again, tremendous a response from our clients because I'm like, oh, because it's baked into the email on the signature, I was like, hey, just below, check it out if you can do this.
That's awesome.
So I think it's just finding the right position for like when you want to ask. 6 months down the road, I mean, it's like, I don't even, I remember working with them, but like the likelihood of me being like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to do that. You kind of lost that opportunity.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting. Like in your business, I could see that more so. In mine, it's different because this is something that they deal with this is someone's home or it's their investment, whatever it was, whatever form of business they did through us. Maybe they bought their first rental property. But I think there's more of a personal reminder through real estate when we follow up with those emails, because then they're thinking about this house.
Yeah.
They're thinking about like how happy I am here. You know, again, it's like when we get someone to the closing table, whether you're a buyer, whether you're a seller, a tenant or a landlord or an investor, like we're not at that closing table unless you are completely satisfied with everything we have done for you.
Yep.
And the reason we believe that wholeheartedly is because if you don't, closing should have been pushed out so that something got figured out. Or guess what? This transaction, this deal was not meant to be for whatever reason or reasons, and we had to move on to another home. So I always look at closing. It's always a happy experience. I've been to closings with other agents, and I don't want to speak poorly of anyone, but the other side is fighting at closing, or they're in disagreement, or someone's saying, just move forward with it. It's fine. And people are saying, you know what? It's not fine.
Yeah.
So I've seen it all different ways. It's just, everyone runs their business differently. Some people are more transactional, they're more numbers focused. And I get that side of the business. And some people are more customer service driven, more relationship focused, which is kind of how I've been. That's my own personal spin.
There was an agent I was talking to earlier this week.
Yeah. Real estate agent?
No, insurance agent. And he said, I can count the number of clients that I know and have dealt with on one hand. Yeah.
That's
so
insane.
So just transaction,
Yeah. It's just deals.
Just deals.
So like, I don't know anyone. It's like, bring them in, bring them out. Hopefully they had a good time.
Yeah.
Bring more in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, to each their own. There's no right or wrong way.
No.
All right. So we talked about some of the statistics, why it's important. We talked about how you get them. And we've also talked about some of the different places you can house them online. Like, is it Google? Is it Facebook?
And I think for us, the timing is very important for us.
Yeah.
I think for you, it actually works because it's another touch, it's another drip, it's kind of like, for us, it's like, we feel like there's a finite window to like have that person's attention. So like, we got to get it.
Like once they lock in with you, they're kind of like, it's on autopilot.
But they're happy, right? Like, so like, let me take advantage of the goodwill right now.
Gotcha. Yep.
And then the likelihood of them leaving a review is much higher.
Yeah.
So from a timing standpoint, that's
a really good
key
point
for us.
Actually, talking about places to house them online, so if there's a Zillow in real estate, is there an insurance focused consumer facing site that people like to have online reviews?
I'm sure they're out there. People do it on their website. So I don't know.
It's just company specific. They'll just go right to the company. Like there's no. Is there a website that will talk about multiple insurance companies, one online reviews, anything you know of?
Hugh Aura.
Okay.
Is a site. No, but so like if I have a placeholder on
Answers. .com.
And yeah, Ask Jeeves. Where's the best insurance broker in the universe?
Where's the Ask Jeeves these
in
days?
Ambler, Pennsylvania. That's Mooney Insurance.
That's great.
But on our site, so you can go to our website. So if we wanted to redirect, and I'm sure there's an SEO
It's more focused.
benefit by having it there.
Yep.
You could go there. Some of the national insurance, not agencies, but like some of the
Like other shopping sites that were like, hey, I'm comparing one versus the other versus blah,
yeah,
blah, blah.
but I don't think you would do reviews there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But some like the I forget what they're called, like National Association of Insurance Agents or something like that.
Yeah, okay.
You can get plugged in with them, and
Gotcha.
and there's some reviews, and I think they do leads out of there too. So it
Okay.
could
so
work
there is another spot, but it's not as prevalent in your
for
business.
us, I know the volume coming in. I know just when we do that intake of the amount of people that are getting directed through Google, that for us it just works the way that we have it set up in terms of where the traffic's coming from, and then the reviews to kind of like back that up.
All right. So here's the final point we wanted to go over. What do the online reviews actually mean or do for your business? So now that you got 100+ reviews on Google.
Yep.
You got reviews on your website, you got reviews on Facebook. What does that mean? What has that done for your company?
So I think that I think it was 2017. There was a statistic that was given, and it was 73% of shoppers were robos. Research online, buy offline.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that acronym. Never heard that one.
So they're online. They're kind of looking around,
Yep.
looking for information. But when the time comes to buy, they're not going to buy online because they're insuring their house. They're insuring their vehicle.
They're using it to research. They just want to get a feel.
Yep.
They want to take their time.
Yep.
It's interesting. Like in real estate, do you know who I would classify as that in person? Would be like you have an open house.
Yeah.
So when you have an open house, let's say I have a listing, 123 Main Street, and you have an open house, most of the time you're getting interested buyers who, I'm going to say half of them in my experience, don't even have a real estate agent yet. They're no one's helping them. They haven't tried to interview buyer agents. They're not really talking to a friend or a family member yet, like someone they trust who can navigate them through real estate. They just want to go to the open house for research.
Yeah.
They want to look at it. They want to walk through it. They want to maybe meet a real estate agent that they feel good about at that open house. And it's interesting you say that. That's almost like that robo philosophy. They're going to look, okay, there's an open house at 123 Main Street. And then they show up. And most of the time it's because they're not ready. They're just like, you know what? We're renting. Maybe got 6 months left on our lease. It's a little early. We're first-time home buyers. Or, hey, we're move-up buyers. There's no rush. So people will kind of browse.
What we find is that the people that are looking online, some people are just going to buy online.
Yep.
There's certainly, a quarter of the people out there are just totally fine with that. It's fine. But what the other people are doing are trying to get like a baseline. Like they're saying like, all right, these are my policies right now. These are the coverages I have. They don't have a good handle on the coverages, but I know what I'm paying, for this policy, or I'm paying for this policy. So they go online and say, hey, is there something possibly out there that may be better?
Yep.
And so that may like spur them on to look and do some investigative work online. And then at least they have a baseline when they call us to like, what's their expectation? What do they anticipate when coming to us?
Yeah.
And so our goal is really to have that information out there. We could, it's social proof, right?
Yeah, you want them to see you when they do their research.
Yeah.
They're doing all that searching. They're diving through different things. They're doing Google search, all sorts of different things. Insurance and Ambler. Maybe they even saw your company. They're just like, who's Mooney Insurance Brokers? And they just want to see what's going on. do you get we get statistics from from Google every
Yeah.
month, and it's like, hey, your search
This
count is
many
up, your
calls,
page
this-
views and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what's really cool is like you just see search terms. I'm not sure if you ever looked at that part when you get that monthly
Keywords?
email. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our it used to be Copper Hill Real Estate.
Yeah.
So it's like people are finding us because they're looking for us.
Right.
So it's like, I'll tell you, man, it recently, in the last like 6 months, it's real estate, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So we're showing up for different reasons. We have a blog, it's all original content. We have a pretty detailed agent page. We have neighborhood pages. We have building pages. So it's almost like when we were talking to Ryan Hanley and we were talking about his book, Content Warfare, which I have not read yet, but I'd like to look into it because I've always been big on content marketing.
Yeah.
I think
That's why I mentioned it, because it was like perfectly suited for,
yeah. I think after like almost a decade of being in business as Copper Hill, I'm starting to realize that some of this content is really paying off because, I'm small potatoes. I'm a smaller company.
Yeah.
Like I don't have the market share that some of these people.
Well, when you start getting found for real estate, I mean, when you look at the pricing for like keywords and you do AdWords and that sort of thing, like insurance is like,
Yeah, it's insane.
but to see the results, to see that you're pinging, people are like navigating the way through and getting to you after the initial search of real estate. I mean, that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah. Agreed, man.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add before we close this one out?
No, I think the main focus for us, or the main
If you could talk.
main reason why we're doing it is because we believe that it's taking a cold lead and turning it into a warm lead.
Yeah.
So you're kind of taking that person that you don't know, and they're getting comfortable with you and knowing how you transact business, and it's going to be much easier to get them on board.
Yeah, I agree. And I like to relate things too in business to like the way that I would search for things as well. I try and think of it's like, how would I look at it? What would be important to me? Not that my opinion matters more than anyone's, but it's just like I try and put myself in the shoes of the person looking.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, I want to go out to eat. I'm searching them to see what's
Yeah.
going on. Am I getting takeout or dining? It doesn't matter. I'm searching you.
Spray tan. Where's the best spray tan?
Where am I going to get the best bronze look possible? Because that is highly important to my everyday and weekly routine. I mean, we all know this already.
Don't want to go to a place that's like half bronze.
That's right. That's a very fair point. So, all right. Well, we're going to close this one out.
On that
So
note.
thank you for tuning in again to another episode of Bricks and Risk. See you soon. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Bricks and Risk. Our goal is that you walk away with 1 or 2 valuable nuggets, and we greatly appreciate you sharing your time with us today. You can find all B&R episodes on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and anywhere else you get your podcast content. Until next time, keep learning and keep growing.